Hello and welcome to our 2024 to 2025 annual catalogue launch. My name is Sandra Roberts and I'm here in the UK, and today my chosen tool to give you some hints and tips with is the Wink of Stella glitter brush. This is how your Wink of Stella brush arrives packaged. I've just slit this open. I'm going to slide this one out. The instructions are in here, so I'm just going to run through some of the techniques and things that you can do with this. When your Wink of Stella arrives, it is going to have this black barrel around the middle here. Now we remove that, just flick that off, okay, and reapply the brush tip, and we're going to just screw that, and the little plug in there is going to pierce the barrel in there and ignite that ink in there. One of my favourite techniques to do with the Wink of Stella is the splatter technique. So once we've removed the little black barrel from the middle here, we need to give it a short little shake to make sure that that's well mixed, and then we'll remove the lid. So then on a piece of kitchen paper, paper towel, I'm going to squeeze this very gently until I can see some of the fluid coming down here into the barrel. It's just starting to come through, so I'm just going to touch it on the kitchen paper here, okay, to make sure that that nib is wet. So what I'm going to do is hold this over my dark piece of cardstock, and I like to use my Tombow because it's near and handy, and I'm going to angle my pen downwards onto the cardstock. And with this, I'm just going to knock it on here, and pointing it downwards. But hopefully you can see some of that now taking shape. Okay, I always replace the lid between use. And then I'm going to lift this up to the camera. It does need to dry, but this is a gorgeous way to have a nice starry sky. A wintry sky or a starry sky is really, really nice. Next, we're going to take a piece of our designer series paper, and with the pen is already primed, so I'm just going to colour in some of this image, this floral image in the centre here. And I'll bring that up to the screen, and should be able to see how nice and glittery this is looking. Next, I'm going to bring on an image that I've stamped here. This is from the Everyday Details stamp set, and this is one of the sets that is carrying over to the annual catalogue. So I've just roughly come along here with a watercolour pencil and just roughly coloured that. So now I'm going to use my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to colour in my image, just using this like a normal water brush. We have the aqua painters, and somebody else might be using those to highlight today, but this is just highlighting, just colouring with that image with the Wink of Stella. So we've got some sparkle on there as we watercolour. So we're doing two things at once really. So I'm just shading that in there, and obviously you'd come around the handle and do some more on there and the base, but I'm just giving you a little flavour there just to show you how that can look. Okay, so there is my image. And again, hopefully the camera will pick up that there's some sheen on there as well. Just colouring with a watercolour pencil. Between uses, there's a little bit of pink pencil, watercolour pencil on there. So I just gently stroke my brush until the pink has removed. And then I know that that is clean to put away. You're going to love this Wink of Stella so much that eventually they will run out. So when you know when they've run out, when you're shaking, nothing's happening, and you're squeezing it and just air is coming out here. Okay, but there is inside the barrel, it is full of this lovely super fine shimmer mica liquid. So I unscrew the barrel, I take a cup of water, and I squeeze where it says push and push. I squeeze that barrel and I suck up some water into that barrel. Now this is like squeeze again and then suck up some more, and then just squeeze again and suck up some more. This is like filling an old fountain pen. Always replace your lid and shake it to make sure that you wash that out, you mix up your ink, and then we're just going to squeeze it onto here. And there we are working again. This is a great way, when you've stamped your image onto watercolour paper. This is our Fluid 100 watercolour paper from Stampin Up. It's a superb surface for actually allowing the water to run. Okay, so I'm going to show you another way. We've got watercolour pencils here, but also we can use an ink pad. So if we squeeze the ink pad into the lid here, we can pick up some of the ink from here. However, if you get some of the sparkly debris left behind on here, it can transfer onto the ink pad. We don't really want that. So how we can avoid that is by grabbing a block and just tapping the edge on here to get some ink. And then we can pick up some of this ink with our glittery water and we can just paint to our heart's content. We can pick up more and we can make it darker, and it is just flowing until it comes to nothing. Okay, so to clean my brush again, I will just wipe this gently onto the paper towel, and then that's ready for the next use. And then I bring this up to the camera and you can see that it is wet at the moment, but it's also got some sparkle in there all the way down to the faded out piece. If you wish to know which pens you have water in, I like to mark these so I know that this one now has water. Find the one without the writing on and just put water brush on here. Water brush. Then you know that that purely has water in it. Eventually they will run out totally, and I have this one is marked as water only. For my last technique, I'm just going to show you how to remove the barrel of this pen using your paper snips just underneath the rim of that barrel. Just get your blades just between there. You're not cutting it, you are just wriggling that until you can actually remove that barrel. My camera wasn't recording when I first set this up, so I'm just going to repeat what I do. I put some 70% alcohol into the barrel here. It's got a pouring spout on this one, so I can just drizzle a little bit in, and then I can put in a re-inker. Again, I shake the re-inker and just put a couple of drops in. Just put a few drops in there. Replace the lid. Okay, replace this little glittery barrel. Make sure that you don't overfill it, because as you put the little barrel down, it will overflow. And then I'm just going to press this back on here with my paper towel. Just press that in so it's nice and secure. Re-screw your barrel together. And replace your lid. I never shake without having the lid on. Give it a shake. Here's my scrap of my Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and I'm just going to now squeeze this and just got that, made sure the ink is coming through. Squeezing this onto the paper, the watercolor paper, and you can see the glittery effect on there with the isopropanol. It is looking wet at the moment. The alcohol will evaporate and then you'll be left with a lovely blue shimmery surface. And again, I'm going to take my Sharpie and I will write on here blue shimmer. This was boho. Boho. I'm going to put ISO, so boho ISO, ISO P, ISO Pro. So I know that that's the alcohol and it's the boho blue. Okay, so now I know that that one is ready and primed and ready for use. I do store these in a cup holder, so upright. This is great then for Christmas scenes, snow scenes, etc. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of my hints and tips with the Wink of Stella clear brush pen. It's one of my favourites. It's a must-have to have in your craft stash, and I hope you enjoy trying some of the techniques yourself. Bye for now.